Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good Tuesday evening, everybody. Welcome back to the OHIO podcast. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, aka the Podfather, and you. We're thankful you decided to join us this evening for another live show here on the Ohio podcast. Do us a big favor if you don't mind. Go ahead and smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That helps us out. You're watching this after the fact. Go ahead and hit that like button as well. Leave us a comment down in the comment section below. If you're listening to the audio version of this, I don't blame you. I don't like the way my face looks either, and neither does my ex-wife. Hey, if you don't mind, give us a 5-star review. We would appreciate that so we can get in the earbuds of more great Ohio State fans just like yourself. This guy right next to me, that's the sweater vest himself, Jim Tressel. He was honored. Going to be in the Ring of Honor at the shoe. We're going to talk about that in the after show over on Patreon. If you're not a part of Patreon, the link is in the description below. Only costs $5 a month to be an NRO member over on Patreon, and you too can take part in the super secret show where you can let us know tonight your thoughts on Jim Tressel and getting such a huge honor at the shoe. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me this evening, he is a good friend of mine. He is a doggone good podcaster. He just roots for the wrong team. So don't hold that against him tonight, everybody. It's my good friend Skeeter from the brand new, rebranded Sons of the Show Me State. Skeeter, it has been too long, brother, since you have been on here with me, and we've got to talk college football. How you been?
Brother, if I was any better, my last name would be Wilds. You know what I mean? I'm living life to the fullest, doing good, highly blessed, highly favored, and it's the best time of the year. It's excitement, potential. Everybody sees their route to the national championship. So I'm pumped, excited, ready to talk shop with you.
You already getting some of the approval just by who you're rooting for and it not being the team up north. So we're off to a good start tonight, Skeeter. All
The
right,
real
man.
block M. The real block M.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you all a little backstory here on Skeeter and I. Ohio State is going to the Cotton Bowl to play Missouri. I'm looking for a podcast to do a preview with. I find Skeeter, and at the time he had two co-hosts as well. I find these boys. I reach out to them. Skeeter says, "Yeah, let's do that, man." So we did some cross-pollination, as I like to call it. And of course, that game did not end very well for Ohio State. Skeeter, that was a big night for you guys. I remember, man. But you were so gracious in victory. You didn't rub it in too much, as I remember. But we have become very good friends since then. We have stayed in touch with each other. Skeeter's got a personal story. I don't know if he's going to share that with us tonight or not. But Skeeter and I are both men of faith, great faith. And we share that similarity along with our love of college football. So we're going to start with our love of college football because I know that's why most of you are here. And then maybe near the end of the program tonight, Skeeter can share some of his testimony.
Let me back you up real quick
Okay.
because, yeah, I didn't get to rub it in too good because I mean, kind of hard to when y'all go on the next year and win the national championship, right? I mean, like,
Oops.
yeah, yeah. So, in all due fairness, okay, we got you in the Cotton Bowl, big whoop. You go on and win the Natty the next year. So, we're waiting our turn, but I can still enjoy 2023 for the great year it was for the Mizzou Tigers.
I'm going to say something nice about Missouri. Okay. I actually got to go and spend time in Columbia, Missouri, um, about 2 years ago. It's a really cool college town. Really, really cool college town. And I drove by the stadium a couple times and I thought, man, that would be a really good place to watch a football game. It
Yeah.
it's got a cool vibe to it.
It's got a new facelift. You can no longer see inside the stadium from the road.
What?
That end zone is enclosed. It's a $250 million project. Going to debut this fall, Labor Day weekend, when we host Arkansas Pine Bluff.
That was kind of the charm about it.
Yeah,
I liked that you could drive by and you could see down in it and it gave you those chills of college football. I
yeah.
like that. Man, that's too bad. Um, well, it's such is life, man. We got to get that NIL somehow. Okay, let's start here. The NCAA announced today, 5 and done, boys. That's what you get. You get a 5th year. You can be redshirted. Doesn't matter. They're not counting it anymore. You get 5 years in college football. What does Skeeter think of this new rule change? Do you like it? Do you not like it? What's your thought?
I I like it because it's black and white. There's no more gray area. There's no more 27-year-olds out there playing college football. I believe Florida or somebody a few years ago had a tight end that was in like his ninth year of college football, and it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? This guy needs to go get a job. He's got a wife and kids at this point. So I like the fact that it's black and white. There's no gray area to play with. It's 5 years starting from the time you enroll or at the age of 19, either or. I think uh, BYU will probably get exemptions because their players usually go on those missions through the Mormon church. Uh, and I'm sure that's included in the bylaw language that they like including in there. But for the most part, I like that we finally have, just a dry cut resolution to this going forward.
Well, and it proves the NCAA can do something,
Yeah.
and they actually can do something right. It might be the first win. Now, obviously, this will be challenged in court by somebody, you know. But as we have learned through the Sorsby stuff, when schools say we are going to come together and we are going to combine our efforts and say no,
Yep.
we're going to put our foot down. That is not. We don't care what you think, Texas Tech. You can't have a 36-year-old player in his 16th year of college football.
Yeah.
We refuse to play you. All of a sudden it completely changed the entire landscape. So we need to see more of that, I think. Obviously, everybody in college football is incredibly selfish and they're after their own what suits us in our program in the here and now. No one has enough foresight to look down the road and say, even though this helps us today, this might hurt us tomorrow. No one's doing
Yep.
that. And this feels like the first time in a long time that the NCAA took some low-hanging fruit and said this could be a win. Let's do the right thing, the easy thing now first, and get ourselves a W. I think that the next thing they should do, Skeeter, is just fix the schedule. I think
Yeah.
it's the easiest thing to do. You bump the season up by a week so that you finish the season earlier, and then you have the transfer portal right after in the month of January, right after the season's over. If you're going to keep the transfer portal there, the early signing period should be in August now, not in December when like coaches are trying to plan for playoffs and bowl games and everything else. And then, oh yeah, by the way, here's your transfer portal a month and here's your signing period month, and like they can fix the schedule very, very easily if they wanted to. Your
At,
thoughts?
You talk about recruiting schedule and signing day. Like Drinkwitz has got 4 or 5 verbal commitments this week alone, and none of them has like got me excited. Because the chance that they're actually going to sign their letter of intent come December, it's a 50-50. And
Right.
then once they do get on campus, the chance that we actually see them in a Mizzou jersey or an Ohio State uniform and they bide their time as freshmen and sophomores without hitting the portal is even less likely, by the time you get down the road. So it's the game is kind of turned to where high school recruiting is almost obsolete to a point. You just kind of I I've got to where I just pay attention to the roster year by year. And I've been saying this since the transfer portal's come along. Now, even more so than ever, you've got to love the name on the front, on the chest plate, more than on the back plate.
Absolutely. I've been saying it when a player leaves Ohio State via the portal and they go to another school, whatever school they go to, I've been telling everybody, to me it's bye Felicia. I don't care. Like
Yep.
I root for Ohio State on the front of the jersey. I wasn't rooting for the name on the back of the jersey. If you don't want to play for my team, why should I? Why should I? Continue to follow you or root for you or invest any more of my time or effort. And some people are like, well, you should be kind, and I'm not saying be rude. I'm not getting on social media and being like break a leg, but I also am not getting on social media and wishing them well wishes on their way out the door. Like
Yeah.
that was your
Yeah.
decision. You left me. Why should I be happy that you left me and my team? I'm not happy about it. So,
You mean you aren't
um,
going to go out there and take your $80 Letterman jacket off and lay it in the water puddle for them to step over on their
no,
way out of
I am
town?
not. I am not going to do that, Skeeter. That is no. Some other fans can, but I won't. I root for the name on the front of the jersey, and just like you, so I'm with you on that. Absolutely. One of the things Ryan Day has said, Skeeter, about one of the changes he would like to make is that you have to be at a school for at least 2 years
Yeah.
before you hit the transfer portal. I'm assuming that Coach Drink has also maybe alluded to that as well. That seems to be something else I think could be an easy fix. You choose a school, you make a letter of intent. If you leave that school, you have to sit out a year unless you've been there for at least 2 years. Make them have at least a 2-year commitment. Used to be when you committed to a school, you committed. And if you left, there was a penalty for leaving. That is not the case
Well,
anymore with the
what
transfer portal.
Drinkwitz has done on that, and it was not as strong as a conviction for players as I guess what he was hoping for. But as he was signing these 5-star and 4 stars out of high school, he was getting them to sign 2-year NIL contracts. And if they left after their freshman year, there was a buyout. Well, apparently, these schools just have unlimited money because, it, all these high touted recruits that leave after freshman year, Ole Miss paid Keywan Lacey's buyout to his NIL to go there and play for him last year. There's a list of players that Eli's got out of high school that one and done at Mizzou, and every single one of them, or the majority of them, have been on 2-year NIL contracts. So it's so mind boggling how they're doing that. I don't know how Ohio State is on the NIL. I live in the state of Arkansas. I see the content Mizzou puts out. They are asking the common fan to fund the NIL. Is how it comes across. For this amount of money a month, you help support the school. Arkansas really pushes their NIL fund, asking the fans to help pay. But then when it comes time to go get the players out of the portal, it seems like they have unlimited funds that they're playing with anyways. So it doesn't make sense because they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Well, their words are saying that they're broke and they need help, and they're wanting the fans to foot the bill. But then you look at their actions, and they're writing checks, and apparently there's unlimited funds.
Or they're at least making promises.
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
All right. I'm with you on that. So I think so. Here's something that's interesting. There's a lot of similarities between Ryan Day and Eli Drinkwitz. Okay, I'll never forget this. And as long as you and I are friends and we continue podcasting and we are on each other's shows, I will continue to say that one of the reasons why Ohio State won the national championship the following year in 2024, and the reason why they are where they're at right now, with Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator, is because Eli Drinkwitz s- sat there at the podium with Ryan Day literally 4 or 5 feet away from him, and he said to him, "I'm wearing too many hats as a head coach, and I need to take off my play caller hat." I think the question was, how do you explain the success you've had this year in 2023? And he said, I had to let go of play calling.
Yep.
Now it sounds like he is basically going even one step further than that this year, based off of the podcast I watched that you talked about that on. And we're going to talk about your podcast in just a minute for everybody. But it sounds like to me, Eli has been like one step ahead of Ryan Day on the same, and Ryan Day's been on the same trajectory as Eli in that he's got to let go of more things. And I think, that's really hard for offensive minded guys to do. Explain what Eli Drinkwitz is going through and how he's even taking a further step back, because I think it's exactly what Ryan Day is doing too.
Yeah, when he got hired in 2020 to come in and be head coach, he's offensive coordinator coming up through the ranks, spent a couple years at NC State as offensive coordinator, and then gets the head coaching job at Appalachian State in 2019 and goes 12-1, wins the Sun Belt, and he's offensive coordinator along with head coach. And he brings that, he brought that with him to Mizzou. And the first 3 years were mediocre. I mean, literally 500 years every year, 5-5 and 20 and 20, 6-6, 6-6 and 21 and 22. He went out and hired an offensive coordinator in Kirby Moore. Uh, and that was the big change for 23 that he was talking about as far as turning it loose. But then this year at the SEC spring meetings where the coaches and athletic directors get together, he misunderstood a question one of the reporters was asking and asked what he was going to do to fix. And he took it as fix Mizzou, not fix college football in general. And he said, "What would I fix? Well, I fixed us. I hired a new play caller, or I quit calling plays." So he goes out and hires Chip Lindsey from Michigan. Sorry, y'all. But, uh, Chip's got a ton of coaching experience, offensive coordinator at high positions, and a lot of success. Last year was kind of mediocre for him there, but have a true freshman quarterback and everything, and that whole mess that was Moore and the head coach there. Uh, but he does have a good track record, and then goes and gets Garrett Riley after he's let go from Clemson. He comes in as our quarterback coach. We go get another former offensive coordinator in Atkins to be our tight end coach. So he's got three guys with decades long experience of being offensive coordinators. So by him saying that at spring meetings, Kirby Moore was a young up and coming. Fresno State was where we got him from. So he didn't really have a prove it resume. These guys that Eli brought in, they're not gonna take it in the middle of the game where, Eli gets on the headset and changes the play of what they're wanting to call in. They'll unplug the headset that is talking to him and they'll just talk to the quarterback. So uh, he realizes in order to go from that good to great, he's got to be head coach. He can't be offensive coordinator and have his fingers all over that and then everything else still be great. It's funny because he grew up playing linebacker at high school here in Arkansas, and was a really good linebacker, just undersized, so he didn't get a college chance at it. But the side of the ball that he doesn't touch, defense, is a top 10 unit in the country last year.
Hmm.
you know, so
Yeah, a lot of similarities.
yeah. Uh, Hopefully the writing was on the wall to him. You see a lot of maturation coming out of Eli here lately. Used to his interviews were must watch because you never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. But he's really, really pulled that back. And I think he's kind of been embarrassed a little bit by his record against top 25. It has not been good by any standards. Um, I think beating y'all in the Cotton Bowl, which bowl games outside the playoffs, do we really count them?
Not
I
now,
mean,
not
we
anymore.
lost last year to Virginia, and it was like, okay, big whoop. We beat Iowa the year before, big whoop. Like each team's a skeleton crew of who they were running out before. If you hear screaming in the background, my 10-year-old and 8-year-old are trying to watch the 2-year-old while I'm doing this. So they're all good. Nobody's hurt. Nobody's dying back there. But uh, so Eli is got to step forward with the program. He's over 10 million a year on salary. He's got an extension every year since I think 22 in the offseason on his contract, and every extension seems to come with a pay raise. Uh, Gets the donors to build this $250 million end zone project. They've almost tripled season ticket prices and uh, scholarship fund donations since the 23 season. So you're asking a lot from everybody, and everybody's stepping up and meeting the bill. So now you got to turn that into going and beating Texas A&M. You got to beat Georgia every now and then. You got to be able to beat Alabama every now and then. You can't keep losing these games over and over and over and just beating the middle and the lower end of the SEC. You've got to be able to start winning some of the upper echelon games.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I see where you're at there. But let me ask you this question: is Missouri a better program than Penn State? Sure seemed like it,
Mm,
right? Oh,
well,
come on.
here
Drinkwitz could have went to Penn State, and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm good."
here's okay. You have to understand one. Uh, Drinkwit's parents are a little bit older. They live in southern Missouri with his brother. He's got a lot of family that he can get in the vehicle and drive to in the day. His girls, I believe they have 4 daughters. His youngest, all she really knows is Columbia, Missouri. His oldest daughters, they're in softball programs, school programs that for 6 years now is in Columbia, Missouri. And I know it's head coach. These coaches are used to bouncing around, moving, 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 but there's a sense of normalcy in Columbia for Eli and his family. And I think that was a big thing on it. Overall, Penn State, with their history, I mean, you can't really compare the two programs, but Bo Pribula did say last year when he come to Mizzou for a scouting trip when he was in the portal, he was blown away that their facilities were better than Penn State's.
Mm,
So take that for what you will.
I will. I'll take it as you're better than Penn State. That's how
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I
Um,
agree, Troy.
yes. Your last episode, you mentioned that, and we're going to talk about that in a second as well. There's another great question on here, and I do want to get to this too because we're going to talk a little SEC Big Ten. So let's just start with this question from Sean, one of our hosts here on the Ohio podcast. Skeeter, did you like when Mizzou went with the SEC? I thought the Big Ten was a better fit. I did as well.
Well,
When I went to Columbia, Missouri, I'm just gonna be straight
yeah,
up honest with you. It felt Midwestern to me. It had
yeah,
Midwest nice to me.
it is. It is. But I was born and raised in southern Missouri, 5.5 hours away. So Missouri is a pretty good sized state, right?
It's a big one. Yep.
So there's each corner is like a completely different territory. Southern Missouri is nothing like mid Missouri. Columbia's middle Missouri. Northern Missouri is nothing like middle Missouri. So each area's got a different variance, and then you throw Kansas City and St. Louis, and they're big melting pots of population, and so you get a little bit of taste of everything. Me personally, I liked it because at the time I was living in Louisiana, and now I live in Arkansas, so I get to see them a lot more because they're in the SEC. Their road games are coming to my backyard, not, so it saves me that. Had they gone Big Ten, well, now my closest game is Columbia, and that's 6.5 hours away from me where I live now. So uh, that's a full 2-day trip just go to a football game for me. But as far as overall fit, yeah, I think at the time I would have preferred Big Ten or stay in the Big 12 over jumping to the SEC. We've been the black sheep of the conference since we got here. Nobody's accepted us. At this point, I accept it. If we're going
Mm,
to be the black sheep, if we're going to be the hill, hey, be the hill, you know?
yeah. Well, you have a built-in rivalry already with Illinois.
Yep.
We would gladly give you guys
Nebraska.
the stupid wooden trophy if you wanted it, and be like, you guys can fight over the Illabuck. You and Illinois, go for it. We could care less. Yeah, Nebraska, exactly.
Yeah.
And you guys got a real good one with Kansas. That rivalry is pretty heated.
That's not a
Um,
rivalry. That's a hate.
yeah, that's their Michigan, guys. Is Kansas? I learned that the hard way on the college huddle, trying to find a Kansas podcast. The Skeeter's like, don't.
I was out. The day you brought him in, I was out.
We never have got one in. We got K
Exactly.
State, the Cocaine Willie
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
But anyways, I always felt like Missouri was like, man, they just tailor made for the Big Ten. But will you admit now that the Big Ten is indeed better than the SEC?
The top of the Big Ten has been better over the last several years. I still don't know that top to bottom, the talent that every team has. I think I would lean SEC in that. Just when you look at like NFL draft picks and stuff, um, there's more guys going to the pro out of the SEC than any other conference. But uh, the top of the talent in the Big Ten could win the SEC every year for the last 3 years, no questions asked.
Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that as you trying to be politically correct, and without saying no, I disagree with you, Eric, because you're an
Yep.
SEC guy. It's all right.
And now the SEC's going to the 9 conference schedule. We've been 8, ever since we joined the SEC, and now we're going to 9, and I don't know if that's going to help or hurt the SEC when it comes to getting more teams in the playoffs. I feel like it's going to hurt because now instead of having 9-3 teams, you're probably going to be having 8-4 teams getting there
Yeah.
uh, at the end of the year, just because that extra game and playing on the road. It's just it is different culture in the SEC. Like it is life for a lot of these fans and fan bases down here.
Mika, our recruiting coordinator, she does a great job keeping me up to date on everything Ohio State related when it comes to recruiting. She would like to know how you feel about your quarterback development there at Missouri. She noted you guys have had a couple quarterbacks from the state of Ohio in the past, and I just did a quick Google search
Matty
and
Mock,
looked. Yeah, Matty Mock was from Kenton, which is literally just down the road from me. And it also mentions Connor. Is it Basilek? Basilak
Basilak. Yeah, he
from
finished his
Kettering.
career at Bowling Green a couple years ago.
Oh, so he came back
Uh,
to Ohio. Okay.
he hit the portal, and I think he went Illinois and then Bowling Green. I think was his route. But uh, our quarterback development, man, under that Gary, we had a really good run starting in the early 2000s. Brad Smith, Chase Daniel, to Blaine Gabbert, to James Franklin, to Matty Mock. It just to Drew Lock, and then after Drew Lock, man, it just kind of fell off, and that's been our big Achilles heel. Brady Cook's been our best quarterback in the last decade, just about, and I don't know if that's saying a whole lot. Best thing about Brady in 2023, what made him special was he didn't turn the ball over. 24 when he come back for his super senior year, he forced the ball a little bit and had some
Yeah.
turnovers, and that reflected on the record. So I wouldn't call him a great quarterback, just a very good game manager.
Yeah. He had
Um,
some moxie about him though too.
yeah, he was tough. He was tough. But the guys that we have now, we've actually got a couple quarterbacks out of the state of Pennsylvania on the roster right now.
Yeah.
Matt Zollers,
Speaking of Penn State.
yeah, Matt Zollers. He had to play as a true freshman last year because Pribula got hurt, and he was okay, but you could tell he was a true freshman, and the game was just really, really fast for him. But also the play calling was horrendous, horrendous. Everything was outside the numbers, and it just made no sense in what they were trying to make him do. Um, and then uh, Swidar, I believe, is other kid's name that is a freshman on this year's team. But overall quarterback development, I want to see more out of it this year. I think
That's fair.
that's got to be where our step up is. And Austin Simmons, the transfer out of Ole Miss, he's got a lot of potential. A lot of people say a lot of good things about his leadership and his character, but that doesn't necessarily win you football games. You got to be able to make the throws.
So Ryan Day's Beard's in the chat, and he wants to know: do you think Alabama has taken a step back with Kalen DeBoer?
Mm. Did Nick Saban leave them at the all-time highest? I don't believe so. I think Saban got in that last playoff because it was Nick Saban, Alabama. Um, DeBoer, I think he's getting it figured out. Just now with OU and Texas in the SEC, it's just that much more competition to be the elite teams. And so, will we ever see a run of Kellen DeBoer at Alabama like what Nick Saban had? No. You know, the teens was dominated by Nick Saban in Alabama. But overall, I feel like Nick had kind of started losing his touch with the transfer portal and NIL, and
Oh yeah.
you know that's probably a big reason why he retired and got into the TV side of it. But uh, I think Kellen is going to be all right at Alabama as long as they're just patient with him.
Hard to be patient when you're used to winning national championships every time you turn around. So it'd be very interesting what happens there.
Yeah.
Tyler wants to know about your strength of schedule. Give us a quick overview on kind of the over under on Mizzou this year, where you think the ceiling and
Oh.
floor is.
Well, with us going to 9 games, week 2 we're at those devil infested Jayhawks. We've got to go to Lawrence, Kansas, and play
Mm,
them demons. But with that being a rivalry and actual hate, like I don't think people outside of that area actually understand the amount of hate that each side has for each other. Uh, you never know what that game can hold, and having to go on the road and play in their stadium. Week 2 with so much roster turnover. Man, I hope we beat the brakes off of them, but I'm not going to count my eggs until they hatch, or count my chickens until the eggs hatch. And then on the SEC side of things, it's so hard to say because you have an idea of what we base everything off what last year's teams did, right? And now with the portal and high school recruiting, it's like everybody has at least 40 new players on their roster every year. It seems like at least 40. Some schools 60 plus. And so it is so hard to know what teams are going to be good, what teams are going to be bad. Uh, if we don't get quarterback play better than last year, probably 6-6, 7-5. Um, if we take a step forward in quarterback play and Drinkwitz truly focuses on being a head coach and leaving the offense alone, letting Chip Lindsey and uh, Garrett Riley and them run the offense the way they intend to run the offense, I could see a 10-win season. So I would say 7 to 10 wins is the range. I don't even know what Vegas has put out on us. I would assume 6.5 is probably what
Okay.
they put out because we're being picked toward the bottom or right below, like in the 10th place range, I believe.
Someone in the chat, check that out. What's the over under this year, according to Vegas, for Mizzou this season? King Buckeye says he thinks 7-5 is kind of the range that he's got in his mind for Mizzou. Missouri can kind of step up and surprise you from year to year. I remember when you first got to the SEC, you guys went to the SEC championship game, and it was kind of like, oh, wait a second, is the SEC not as tough as we thought it was? That was kind of the way that us northern folks were taking it at the time.
Yeah.
But Sage says 8-4, so it's where he's got you. I would love to again. Someone go look that up real fast for us. Okay, let me ask you 6.5. Okay, so there's your Vegas over under. So 7 wins you money, eight
Yeah.
definitely wins you some date cash. All right, I gotta ask you some fun stuff here.
Let's hit it.
All right, what do you really think? And be brutally honest with me. What do you really think about Ohio State?
Ohio State is the program everybody wishes they could be. Um, you go back to that national championship game against Miami. Ever since I've been a kid growing up in the 90s and on, like Ohio State's been a brand. Their history before me, once you learn the sport and start learning the history, Ohio State's the standard. Um, doesn't mean you're going to win it every year. And that's probably hard for y'all to accept some years because expectation every year you expect to be in the playoffs, you expect to reach the national championship. But man, I got to tell you, one thing I told you when I went to uh, the Cotton Bowl, I've never seen a uniform pop off against the grass that way or turf the way Ohio State did. Like just everything was so pristine about it. The marching band, the glitz and glamour, like that is the program to me that is the standard of college football year in, year out. And so I'm not saying that just to blow smoke up y'all's rear ends, make your head swell, which I don't know if that's a fitted hat. Go and take it off if it is, because it's going to get stuck. But, you know, it is like I've never had a hatred for Ohio State. I hate that y'all are in it so freaking much. Like, man, pass down the wealth, like I'm down here like Oliver's Twist. Can I get some more porridge? Like don't forget about the poor guys down here.
Have
But
some porridge right in
yeah,
there, please.
uh, my wife's sister married a guy that's from Cleveland, and he's a Browns, Cavs, and Ohio State, and so I don't have to hear crap about the Browns. That's very short lived. He's talks a lot right now, but usually week two of preseason, he's
They're
lost all
done.
hope.
Yeah.
Pre not even regular season. The Cavs, they lost to the Knicks, whatever. But Ohio State, all I had was the Cotton Bowl. Like that's the only thing I could trump him on. And then 12 months later, he's like, "Yeah, national championship." You know. And then if I were ever talk about Mizzou being national champion, y'all be like, "Oh, did you turn your PlayStation off after you won, or what?"
Ouch. Jeez.
you know.
You're slamming yourself, man. Oh, shoot. I do you think Mizzou ever, I mean, don't you feel like Indiana winning a national champion last year is kind of like, hey, if the worst team in the Big Ten, the worst team in college football can do that, we can too. Isn't there some of that talk on the message boards and in the back of your head?
Yeah, I mean, you always wonder why not us. You see, it's definitely possible. Um, does that mean I think Kentucky or Mississippi State's going to turn it around this year from the seasons they had last year? No. I think them programs were, years behind, but that really is how fast it can happen. You hire the right coach at the right time, get the right people to buy in. I don't even know where Mark Cuban comes into this, but I heard he's throwing a ton of money at the
Yeah,
program up
he's an
there.
alum who's really dished out quite a bit of money.
Mendoza was on our campus before he went to tour Indiana, but the feeling all along was he was going to end up in Indiana because he had a brother there. But man, what difference the season would have made for us had we got Mendoza instead of Bo Pribula, So it's just, is it really Kirk Signetti has it figured out and Indiana just got lucky with the right hire? Is it they just struck gold at the right time with how the other teams were and they had the right guys that they're able to bring in? I, I, I don't see them even making the playoffs this year. I think a lot of that 2 years ago just kind of caught everybody off guard, but last year a lot of it was Mendoza. Like any other quarterback probably loses that game to Penn State, right?
Hmm.
He just has that kind of like what you said about Brady Cook, a moxie about him. You know, kid was a baller, down but never out type
I mean,
mentality.
go back to that Big Ten championship game.
Yeah,
Caden Curry knocks him on his backside, and he's grabbing his ribs, and I think, oh, he's done. Game over. We
yeah.
got this. He goes out for one play, comes right back in, and it's like hero ball. Here we go. And it was kind of like I think it was actually a punch back to Ohio State. Like we delivered a knockout blow. Like we're like Mike Tyson. We knock you out with a huge punch, and the guy gets up laughing. It's like let's roll. Kind
Yep.
of Rocky, like it's
Yep.
kind of like the more you hit him, the angrier he gets.
You
Um,
remember the Jacksonville Jaguars having that defensive tackle Henderson or something that NFL films caught several times that he would get the trainers to just straight up open hand slap him before he went out on the field, and he's like, "No, that ain't hard enough. I need blood." And the guy would just like, it'd be like the slap competitions that UFC's kind of ventured
oh my
into.
gosh,
He was
yeah,
doing that back there in the tunnel before he went out. Like he's got to get hit to get woke up, and Mendoza kind of had that same
he
mentality. Like
did, he did.
I believe all other than his leg falling off, that dude was going to be out there trying.
So one final question for you, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about personal life, man. How is your NIL there at Mizzou?
It's been really good. We had some little extra laws to try to help in-state recruiting there for a while, but I think most of the country's kind of caught up with that. All it was if they signed a letter of intent to a university in the state of Missouri, you could go in and start getting NIL. It wasn't just Mizzou specific, but at the time we were the only D1 school in the state. Now, Missouri State down in Springfield is also D1, I think, going Conference USA this year. But NIL's good. I think we're right in the top half of the SEC, which should get you to where you're pretty competitive year in, year out, right?
Yep, should. That's the that's the goal, anyways. All right. So I have not talked to you yet about what we can and cannot discuss.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So I'm gonna let a lot of people on here on our podcast, they know about the college huddle, but I don't talk a lot about it a lot. Um, so the college huddle is a community of podcasts from coast to coast who collaborate with each other. And we go on each other's podcasts and we try to help each other when we have questions and things to help build each other up. And so it's the largest independent college football podcast community on the internet. And um, a couple years ago, Skeeter had an accident. And I don't want to tell your story, but I was so proud of the community we built that gathered together on your behalf. It really it made me feel good that you know what, we all kind of at times get in our silos. You're in the Missouri silo, I'm in the Ohio State silo, but we're all in a bigger community called college football. And
Yep.
you hate Kansas and we hate the team up north, and that's kind of what makes college football great in a
Yeah.
way. So I want you to share what you're willing and want to share with everybody about what happened, and feel free to talk about your faith a little bit, brother. It's all good.
Yeah. So May 2nd, 2024, uh, going to work that morning like normal, and had some train cars get away. And in the grand scheme of it all happening so fast, my right foot got in the wrong place and ended up losing 3 toes and 20% of my foot. Was in the hospital for 12 days, had 3 surgeries. Um, and the guys of the college huddle, between the messages, the phone calls, uh, Caleb from the Arkansas podcast, Hogs on the Hill, he come and saw me in person,
Wow.
which I was in. I could literally see the University of Arkansas at my window in the hospital there, but still to take the time to do that was awesome. And then I get home, and all of a sudden I get a message one day uh, from the college huddle guys, and they knew I wasn't going to be able to be weight bearing on my leg, and I was going to be in a recliner or a wheelchair or in the bed. And man, they put their money together and got me a PlayStation 5, and that's right when NCAA 20, is it 24, 25, whatever year is the 24 year, but I don't remember if they called it NCAA 24. Whenever it come back, was coming back out, and so they put their money together and got me a PS5 and that game. And I'm proud to say Missouri Tigers now 19-time NCAA national champions. Uh, Eli Drinkwitz is college football greatest coach ever, but just the friendships through that, man. That's the stuff that helped get me through. I never could feel sorry for myself or feel lonely because I had people bugging me in a good way. Anytime I start to sit there and feel sorry for myself or get in my head, there was you or Case or Cole from the Woodswater Mizzou back when we were doing that. Now they're on the Wilderness Brotherhood doing their own thing there. And and the people of the college huddle just staying in contact, keeping the friendships. Um, Last year I had to step away from podcasting, and that was one of the hardest things for me to do because of losing the college huddle family. I felt like it was almost disrespectful to do it, but I had to do it for personal reasons. I had some other things going on I had to tend to, but the college huddle was the biggest reason in getting me back behind the mic, like wanting to get back in the community, wanting to make those connections again, because those dudes made a difference for me in life, not just podcasts, not just sports. Like they made an impact on my life. Um, a lot of people talking about prayer, and you said I could talk about my faith. Um, Man, I always said I was a Christian. Always said I was a Christian, but you didn't know I was a Christian unless you were with me for the hour and a half at church on Sunday morning, or the hour Sunday night, or the hour Wednesday night. I was a checklist Christian. I went to church every time the doors were open, ate Chick-fil-A, read a
Praise the
Bible
praise
verse,
the Lord.
you know. So I did all these things to say I was a Christian, but then throughout work and my actions during the week, you never would have known. Had I been put on trial to say, show proof of God in your heart, I wouldn't have been able to have the evidence. And it literally took being ran over by a train for me to realize how precious life is, how short life is, and there's no time. We're not promised tonight, let alone tomorrow, let alone 5 years down the road. So if I'm gonna be a Christian, I got to be a Christian. And so when I was thinking about getting back in the podcast and I was praying on it, I wanted to go back with Case and Cole really bad. Those are my boys. We started this together in 22, but I just I couldn't get that through my, like, in my prayer. It was just like, no, you know, there's something else, something else. I was like, but I want to do a podcast. Want to do a podcast, and It's kind of like, however you want to say it. Some people say it's God speaking. Other people say it's the Holy Spirit. However you take it, what you will. Felt like I had, if I was going to get back behind the mic and talk Mizzou, I had to be able to include God in it because He's done so much for me, and not only me. He'll do it for anybody. He loves everybody. We're all His creation, and so I had to be able to share that word in the podcast. And so that's where I come up with Sons of the Show Me State. Missouri is known as the Show Me State. It's on license plates, T-shirts, coffee mugs, whatever. And so Sons of the Show Me State's the name of the podcast. And on the bottom it says Tigers, Outdoors, Faith. And so I'm going to talk a lot of Mizzou on there. That's going to be the meat of it. I'm going to talk my passion in the outdoors come hunting season. I love college football, but I watch it on my phone in the deer stand. Like that's my Saturdays come the fall. But also faith. I've taken up leading men's ministry. I've taken up starting a family night at church every other Sunday night because, uh, growing up, there was always church Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. Well, most of the churches here are just Sunday morning, Wednesday night. And I wanted something else because there was a lot of young couples I go to church with that I would only see on Sunday morning. It's like I feel like we need to give them more chances to fellowship, to grow with each other. And so, been praying on it and talked with the preacher, and we got a Sunday night family Bible study, and we've got classes for all age groups. I'm leading the adult Bible study, going through the book of Proverbs right now. And talking about wisdom. The difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is a gathering of facts,
That's right.
but
Wisdom is earned. It
wisdom
takes
is being
time.
able to apply that
Yes.
knowledge in what you say and do. And so, I'm just trying to share my spiritual growth with the podcast community. Um, I I want to make sure everybody knows anything that I do or say. I'm not trying to take credit for it. I'm up walking just fine. I get up at 3 a.m., go work out at the gym from 4 to 5 every morning, and then go to work from 5:30 to 4 in the afternoon. And 2 years ago, I had a 3-inch tall by 5-inch wide hole in my foot, going 3 days a week to get wound vac changes on it. A week ago tomorrow, I pressed 615 pounds doing leg presses. That's how good God is.
Put me in, coach.
That's how good God is. So I just want to share that with you. No matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it seems like it is, no matter how far away the light at the end of the tunnel seems to be, God's there with you. He's got something great for you planned on the other side of that. Just stick to it. Put your heart, put your action where your faith is. If you're a Christian, be a Christian. If you were put on trial and they said, prove you're a Christian, be able to have that evidence in your life and how you talk to people, how you treat people, the things you say and do at work, the things you say and do when you even go to Walmart or the grocery store. Live the Christian life. That's all I want to encourage people to do.
All right, I have just placed inside the chat the link to his podcast. We have so many great people here at the Ohio Podcast in our community. Do me a big favor, everybody. Click on that link, go over to his YouTube channel right now, and subscribe. He's only got 2 new episodes out, just started it back up. Probably have 100 or more episodes on the old one that you had with your boys there. But he's going out on moving out on faith and stepping out there, and he is the Missouri representative in the college huddle, just like we are the Ohio State representative in the college huddle. And this friendship of ours, from just me reaching out to him and introducing myself and saying, "Hey, we're playing each other in the Cotton Bowl. Do you want to do a preview?" Um, has become a great friendship for Skeeter and I. And there were times when Skeeter would call me, and he'd have a question because he found out I was a minister, and he would have a question, and we've shared a lot of fellowship over the phone. I've never met Skeeter in person. I hope to one day. I don't know if I'll ever take a trip down to Arkansas for whatever reason, but if I do, you're gonna definitely be on that list to come and meet. But it's been a wonderful friendship that you and I have had, and I cherish every friendship that I have with the college huddle people, the college huddle. But Skeeter and I have become very very close, and I really do appreciate that. So do me a big favor, if you don't want to do it for anybody else, would you do it for me? Head on over to his YouTube channel, hit subscribe, jump those numbers up, guys. Um,
I
and
also just got back on X this week, uh,
Okay.
and it's the same handle at Mizzou Podcast. If anybody wants to email me, it's MizzouPodcast@gmail.com. I try to make everything the same handle, so no matter what platform you're on, you can reach out to me. I'm not Instagram, Twitch, Facebook. I don't do all that. Uh, I got away from social media completely for a year, and life was great. I just got back on to start helping push and promote the podcast, get a little bit exposure, but also use it as a platform to be able to reach potential guests of players and coaches, whether current or former. So uh, that's the hope there. But I always love being able to interact with people across the country of different fan bases and stuff, just not one to the west of Missouri.
Yeah, and just not the one north of us.
Yeah.
So,
You know, let me ask you this because you are former minister. Like, if I was St. Peter and you get to the gates and you're a Kansas Jayhawk shirt, like automatic disqualification, but obviously I'm not. The Bible says for whosoever. So whosoever is a Mizzou fan, it's also a KU fan. It's an
yeah,
Ohio
yeah.
State fan, it's also a Michigan fan. You know, I guess there's no college sports in heaven, huh? Because it says heaven's a place of happiness and no sadness, no tears. So we can't fight with each other if we don't know about college sports up there.
Oh no, I don't. You have me rethinking things here. Here's a good one for you. Bo Schembechler, he passed away, and he's at the pearly gates, and St. Peter welcomes him in. And welcome in, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things like Michigan. Make you rule over many. And he's like, let me show you your mansion that God has prepared for you, Bo. And Bo was like, "Oh, I'm so excited! This is going to be great." And he's walking down, heaven's highway, streets of gold, and up on this hill is this gorgeous, huge mansion. He goes, "Is that mine?" He goes, "No, no, that's not yours. Yours is over here." And he points, and it's a nice sized mansion. Don't get me wrong; it's very nice. And Bo's like, "You know what? Peter, this is good enough for me. It's got the team on the mailbox." He's like, this fits me just fine. But he's like, I'm dying to know who's got the big mansion across the street. And he goes, you're not gonna like this answer, but it's Woody's. God loves Woody Hayes in Ohio State.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh, Troy, can you do me a favor? We never capitalize the K in Kansas. Uh, it's we don't show them that respect. You know,
we crossed the M's out, brother. What are you talking about? It's just
we
an X.
we lowercase the K and capitalize the A just to show, hey, we know how to capitalize letters, but we're not giving you that
I think
respect.
he's I think he's talking about Arkansas, our
Yeah.
Kansas. Yeah. Uh, Buckeye boy, Buckeye boy, 513OH. Hey, can you tell our fan base to stop being so negative online about early signees? They will run somebody off quicker than a bad marriage. Yeah, welcome to Buckeye Nation. You know, every fan base is this way.
It,
I've
here,
I've I've
here's what I
learned that in
say.
college huddle.
Here's what I say about social media. It's great because it gives everybody a platform. It's terrible because it gives everybody a platform.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so you get the good, the bad. you don't know if that comment come from a 70-year-old woman or a 16-year-old boy. It's just out there, and
And there's a lot of, I know for a fact, there is a lot of,
he
um,
goes speed man.
there you go. There's a lot of Michigan fans who have burner Ohio State
Yep,
accounts,
yep,
and they purposely say things that are incredibly negative and bad, and it's a bad light on Ohio State fans, and they're not even Ohio State fans.
yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is, and turn it off. If sometimes I have learned, sometimes I just need to shut it off and turn it off, and go go read something, or watch something with my wife, whatever brings a smile back to my face. All right, one last time, Skeeter, if you will, tell everybody where they can find your podcast, brother.
Yeah, it's Sons of the Show Me State on YouTube, on every major platform: Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, any of them that you would want to find. Just look up Sons of the Show Me State. The handle is at Mizzou Podcast on X, the YouTube channel. Email MizzouPodcast@gmail.com. Uh, man, I greatly appreciate you letting me come on. Uh, Luckily, doesn't sound like the boys killed each other back there, so I'm gonna be okay when the wife gets home, you know. But this is fun. I look up and it's an hour and 3 minutes, and it feels
Yeah.
like I've been on here maybe 3 minutes. Like it feels like it just started. So nothing but love and respect for you and all that you do, and all the people that you know has made my life better that I've met because of you reaching out to me for that Cotton Bowl. So appreciate you and appreciate your fans and your followers. I'll be in the comments on shows in the future and giving you a hard time as always.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I will be over there as a guest eventually. I'm sure I'll let you know when that video drops. Chris and I were on with Bill and Doug yesterday, so they're my favorite Ohio State podcast, not our own, obviously. Bill and Doug show. Go check that out. Chris did an awesome job. Go show us some love in those comments. We are going to have Bill and Doug on very soon here as well, here on the Ohio podcast. And again, if you haven't, please consider going over there and showing Skeeter some love, dropping him a subscription, and helping him out as he gets back into the swing of things. Oh, one more quick thing. I reached out to Bigfoot, the
Wing dust?
Wing Dust.
Yeah, Tanya told me.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I can't wait. She's gonna send me a sample.
Okay.
I cannot wait to try it. Myself and one of our co-hosts, Bart, he's really into smoking barbecue, and I'm going to share it with him, and we're going to try it out and see if we can't give her some more Ohio love, because a lot of us here in Ohio love to barbecue and grill and
Well, let me tell you, her husband is chef for Mizzou football,
oh,
and I've had his wings at a tailgate down here in Arkansas before a game. And dude, he knows what he's doing. Joe knows what he's doing. So I'm excited to hear your report back on it. I was not kidding when I said on this week's show of mine, put it on your cornflakes, put it on your vanilla ice cream. That stuff is good.
oh, I can't wait. I
It is
cannot
good.
wait. I'm super excited about that, and hopefully sharing that with everybody. But yeah, everybody loved having you on, Skeeter. We'll bring you back in, man. Hey, listen, the season. Go over to the college huddle too. You'll see Michael, myself. I haven't talked to Skeeter about it, but we're doing some different things this season on the college huddle. I'm really excited about it, and we're going to continue to grow that brand as well. But it's been awesome having you on. Go check him out, everybody, and show him some love, and then hopefully we'll get some of that Bigfoot wing dust. And
Okay, now biggest question:
try
how
it
are we
out.
going to finish this? Are you going to do the OH and I'm doing ZOU, or am I
Yeah, that's
doing
that's our tradition.
MIZ and you doing IO?
That's our tradition. Well, I tell you what, I'll start with the OH, and then we'll flip it when I'm on your show. How's that?
All right,
We've been
sounds
doing
good.
we've been doing this since we've been podcasting together. OH.
ZOU.
Go Bucks and go Tigers, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Join us over on the after